Hello and welcome to another LCT showcase. I'm Philipp Hartenfeller, one of the LCT developers, and today I want to talk about handling errors in your tests, or basically how to assert that an error does not occur in your application while your test runs. So I have an example here. I have a worksheet named Add Customer. Let's quickly go into it. We just have one case. And we basically go into the sample database application. Let me just show it in the app. So we go to the customers page, create a new customer, and then we want to fill out this form with these items. And then in the end, click add customer. And basically that's that. We actually then go back from the iframe and check if we are on this page. And let's just run it and see what happens. So I choose Chromium and it's starting, case add customer, everything looks great so far, and it says status passed. So everything looks great. But when I open the log here and we see the screenshot, it actually does not appear to be okay, because we see that there is actually an error. So the form says correct errors before saving. We see that we didn't fill out the state item, and still our test doesn't fail. And this is because all these steps are still completed. We never checked in our test definition if it was successful, the insert of the new customer. So one thing we can do, and actually do that in the next video, is we go back to this report here and we can check if there is actually an entry of the user we created. But the other thing we can do, what I want to focus in this video, is we can simply check if there is this this error message here. So correct errors for saving, or this red text. So let's go quickly in the form here and try to recreate that error. So I'm gonna fill out everything except the state select list, and we get this, and we get the red text. So we want to make sure in our test that we don't get any error message. And for that we go into the worksheet, and here, after we click add customer, we want to make sure that we don't see anything. So we have the seeElement helper or step here, check if a given element is visible, and in here we can actually say invert assertion, so we expect to not see anything, and this is useful for our case now. So we have this stuff where you can choose any page item what that you want to expect to see or not to see, but in this case it doesn't make sense because we just don't see the error information here. So we have to use a custom selector for that. And now the question is which one to use. We could actually use this popover here, or this small modal that says correct errors before saving. But I try to just use this red please select an item on the list. And let me quickly make that bigger. Where are the elements? It's collapsed in here. And I make this bigger. And if you go on the element here again, we see there is a div that says this text, but it's bound to this exact item, but you may want to ensure that not any other item also has this error. So let's use the span up here that just has a class tform error. I copy the class. I can also press Command F here, and that gives us this little search window here on the bottom, and I can then pass the selector in here and actually see that this is the only instance on the DOM where this appeared. So if this is here, we can make sure that, or we know that there is actually an error. It's only displayed for things that actually have an error. So that's perfectly for our use case. I copy that selector, insert that here, and make sure make sure that we don't see any error. And this is already enough. And if I do this after the click add customer and run the worksheet again, we now should actually see that the test fails, because we see it where we assumed that it is not in there. And you can already see here are some error messages. And now the test reruns, because that's how we set up our testing engine, that it retries to do something. If it fails 3 times, you can actually change that. But this is good for like flaky issues where in some cases, because the network was loading enough, there's actually no bug in your application, but yeah, there are network issues, it could fail. So we rerun stuff. So it then in the second try may work and you don't get any error shown in your test results. But here it actually does show up 3 times, so the test fails. And we now make sure that we actually know that the test failed. If we then go into the worksheet and may fix the test, so we can use select option, the helper to use a select list. On which page is this actually? It's page 7. So let's go page 7. Element is state. And we want to select by label, which is, let's just go with Alabama. Select Alabama. And create that step and also put that before. I'll move too fast. Before the click add customer here. And if we then run the worksheet, we should actually now get a succeeding test case. Yeah. So we still have the check in there, but as we also fixed the bug, we now get a successful execution. So yeah, that's it. That's the way how you can use seeElement here to actually make sure that something is not seen from the browser, that something, for example, an error pops up. You can just make sure that this doesn't happen with the seeElement step. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about LCT or something else, just write us an email or in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy your day.